Hi guys, Dan and Kai at Crescent Mortgages here at Glove Factory Studios as always, and we're coming back to you with some of our FAMQs, which are
frequently asked mortgage questions.
And today's topic is going to be foreign national mortgages. As always, any questions you can leave them in the comments or hit the banner and drop us a message directly. And if you could like and subscribe, it would be very helpful because the channel is still a baby. Foreign national mortgages. So, Kai, what is a foreign national?
Quite good, yeah. So a foreign national is, someone who doesn't have permanent rights to reside in the UK or is a non-UK passport holder.
Yeah, so it's essentially someone living in the UK who doesn't have a UK passport or citizenship. Mortgages for foreign nationals in the UK can be a bit tricky compared to someone that's lived here their whole life with a UK passport, but it is still possible to obtain a mortgage if you are a foreign national. Now, I guess first of all, where do you want to start with this one, Kai?
I'll probably start with the limitations. Just finish on the positives.
Yeah.
You don't want to put you down, guys.
Yeah. Actually, no. Okay. I will start with a positive.
You do that.
If you have indefinite leave to remain in the UK, permanent residence here, and you've lived here for over 3 years, which usually come hand in hand, then you probably won't have any problems getting a mortgage at all, and it should be pretty straightforward. You'll probably have pretty much every lender to choose from, and you can borrow pretty much up to any loan to value within reason. The limitations usually start to kind of rear their ugly heads when you are on the two most common that we see, I think, are tier 2 visas, which are really, really common. I'm sure a lot of you watching this may be on a tier 2 visa or a spousal visa. Those two are trickier. If you're on a tier 1 visa, things are a little bit easier. And again, you probably have quite a few options, but tier 2 or spousal visa, which are the most common that we find, cause issues, that it is a bit more tricky. Now, how do you think it is going to impact them if they are on a tier 2 visa?
There's a few things that you have to factor in, I suppose. You have the loan to value, so how much deposit you need to put in or how much equity you need to have in your home. You generally need a bigger deposit or better loan to value.
I'd say that's probably the biggest one, isn't it? No, let me go. So
talk so much.
If you are on a tier 2 or a spousal visa, and you have a 25% deposit, then again, you're generally going to have plenty of options. Then, every lender will have slightly different criteria in terms of how long you need to have been in the UK or how long you need left on your visa. But generally, with a 25% deposit, you should be okay. The issues really start to fall when you have a smaller than a 25% deposit. So we find that if you're on a tier 2 visa or a spousal visa, and you have 10, 15, 20% deposit, the majority of lenders will not do it, but there are a couple of lenders that do specialise in this area. The criteria does change quite frequently, but if you have a 10% deposit and you're on a tier 2 visa, providing you don't have lots of other criteria limitations, which obviously we can check for you if you contact us, there's 1 or 2 that will accept a 10% deposit. But generally, other than the small handful of lenders, 25% deposit does make life a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd probably add in as well the lenders that you find with a 10% deposit aren't necessarily these quirky lenders with really high interest rates.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Often, again, it does change, and at the moment there's a couple of high street lenders that can do it, and in the years to come there normally is 1 or 2 high street presences, so you do still get a pretty competitive rate. But I suppose it's one of those where you need to pick up the phone or talk to someone normally.
Yeah.
You probably won't just be able to walk into your bank and just get it straight away.
Yeah.
Like some people, you just need to have a little look.
Like I say, it's definitely possible with the 10% deposit, but if there are other limitations around your circumstances, let's say affordability is tight, or you're buying an unusual property, or you have a lot of debt, or credit problems, then unfortunately that could then rule out those few lenders that will consider it. That could then rule those lenders out. But if everything else is relatively straightforward and comfortable, then it is achievable with those lenders with a 10% deposit. And as Kai said, there are actually some really decent high street lenders that do it. So you're not necessarily looking at a really small lender with a really high interest rate. Anything else to add, Kai?
No, I think that's it. I think bigger deposit, and chat to someone.
Yeah, speak to a broker, and as I think we touched on at the start, we are regulated mortgage brokers. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can hit the banner shown on the screen somewhere here. I'm not sure where. Clive, do you think it'll be at the top?
I'm not sure to put it yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you'll come back to me on that.
And
that should take you through to our website, and you can drop us a direct message, and we'll come back to you to have a conversation in more detail. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.